Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Prince-Wright, the lead writer editor at NBC Sports Pro Soccer Talk. Thanks for joining me for this watch-along. Liverpool and Chelsea about to go out on the pitch at Anfield, of course. Big day for Liverpool, lifting the Premier League trophy finally for the first time in 30 years. And Chelsea are giving them the guard of honour. Virgil van Dijk is leading them out. Touch to this is Anfield sign. And we are off and running. So for everyone who isn't sure about what a watch-along is, what we're doing is grabbing a beer, having a chat. You can ask me any questions you want on this game or anything to do with the Premier League. Cheers to you all, by the way. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. And then we can discuss what's going on the pitch at Anfield. You can watch along in the USA on NBCSports.com and on NBCSN on TV. And yeah, we'll have some fun. Ask me questions. I'll chuck out a few questions to you guys. We've done a few of these watch-alongs now, so it's been a lot of fun to do. And as the teams are out, Anfield is looking absolutely magnificent. And in case you haven't seen it, the podium and the stage is set up at the top end of the stadium, the heart and soul of Liverpool Football Club. And that is where Jordan Henderson later on, he's injured, he's out for this game, but he will be lifting the trophy and lifting that league title aloft, Liverpool's first league title in over 30 years. And of course, first Premier League title. So let me know where you're watching from in the USA, around the world, anywhere else. And the idea, as I said, of this watch along, we can have a chat. Right now, due to the situation around the world, we can't really get together in pubs or meet up with friends, perhaps where you are, as we would have done previously. So this is a nice way, as I said, to grab a beer, grab some snacks, have a chat, and I'm here to give any analysis on anything you want, soccer-related or life-related if you want. Let's go there as well. So as we get ready for kickoff, I'm looking here at the team news, and the main team news ready for Liverpool was they're as strong as possible. Henderson's out injured, but aside from that, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp giving them one more chance. Of course, Liverpool unbeaten at home all season, drew at Burnley last time out at home, so that perfect home record, the chance of that is gone. But still a wonderful team, and it'd be great for them to celebrate lifting the trophy with a big win just before it. The team news for Chelsea. Christian Pulisic, for everyone watching in the USA, he's had a bit of a muscle tweak in recent days, so he's on the bench once again. He was on the bench as an unused sub for Chelsea against Man United in their big win in the FA Cup semi-final at the weekend. So Lampard's not really risking him. That's understandable because you think Chelsea will be the favourites to win against Wolves on Sunday and then will seal their Champions League berth. Depending on what happens tonight, they can obviously seal it tonight with a win as well. But Kepa's come back in the big change for Chelsea. It's a 3-4-3 formation. Lampard's staying with that 3 centre-back and 5 at the back kind of formation. So that shows you Chelsea are going to do a lot of defending and they'll look to the likes of obviously Giroud up top, hold the ball up and get Willian and Mount in and around him. So yeah, send your questions coming in. Lovely to be with you all again. And as I said, for this watch-along, the main idea is to get together and to, have a good time watching the game. So I can see a lot of questions coming in, a lot of locations and where you're watching the game from. That's always good to see. As I said, let me know where you're watching from. I love to think about all the different places around the globe you're tuning in from. Love to have you with us. And of course, here at NBC Sports, we can watch the game. You can pull it up on NBCSports.com. Have that on one screen, have me on the other, so you can have someone for instant analysis and reaction. And I'm here to answer any of your questions. So I'm going to chuck it out now. The game's just about to kick off. Lovely summer evening in Liverpool on Merseyside. And the referee's blown his whistle just about. And yeah, we're just about getting ready to roll for Anfield on a massive, massive night for Liverpool fans absolutely everywhere. The players are all taking a knee to support the Black Lives Matter movement. Wonderful support across the Premier League to try and do their bit to help in the battle against racism. And it's been wonderful to see that throughout the restart games since the Premier League came back. So as I scroll through some of the places where you are, send me your score predictions for this. Liverpool have got an early chance here, by the way. 12 seconds in, they're inside the penalty box. This bodes well, doesn't it, for a good game? Okay, so we've got El Paso, Texas in the house, Shawnee. Mazin is in Africa. Felix is in the USA. Chicago's in the house. That's where Jack is. A lot of comments going back and forward between Liverpool and Chelsea fans in the comment section there. A lot of history, right, between these two teams over the years. And of course, someone said it in the comments there. Who was that? Thomas Morgan. Thomas, I had this plan. Don't worry, my friend. The Championship is absolutely bonkers right now. The second tier of English soccer. There's one automatic promotion spot left. There's one playoff spot left to fight for, barring anything absolutely wild going on in Nottingham Forest. And then there's also up to 7 to 8 teams who could get relegated today in the Championship. So nothing's really been decided apart from Leeds winning the title and being promoted. So I'll keep you up to date. Don't worry, Thomas. I'll have the scores up and I'll give you a roundup of what's going on in the first half on the final day of the Championship season. So, wow, a lot of people from all over the globe coming in here. Again, let me know where you're watching from. Washington, USA, Armenia, New York, Israel's in the house, Canada, New Jersey, Victor's in Mississippi. Christopher is in Austin and says, go Liverpool. John Andra is in Wichita, Kansas, with a little celebration there. Thanks for joining us. We've got Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Boise, Idaho, North Liberty, Iowa, Chelsea fan there. We got France in the house, Raleigh, North Carolina, Canada, New York. I don't know if we've pretty much got most of the 50 states covered there. So this is awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Tennessee, New York, Boston, Scranton, Pennsylvania, South Africa, Virginia, Kenya. Hi, Matthew in Kenya. Boston, Boulder, Colorado, Cincinnati, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New Jersey, Phoenix, Zimbabwe. Wow. My goodness. This is really cool. This is really cool to see where you all are. Connecticut's in the house. Chicago, Sudan, Portland, Maryland, New Orleans. Big shout out to Eric there, down in Louisiana. Kuala Lumpur, Atlanta, Pacific Northwest. Santa Clara. I'm gonna run out of breath before I even start this watch along. So I think I need a sip of beer after that. But St. Lucia, there's somewhere I'd love to be. Ethiopia as well. California, Egypt. Wow. This is really cool. Okay, so get your score predictions in. I'm going to tell you, Williams started well. Little ball into the box, but Alexander-Arnold's just going to let it run out for a goal kick for Liverpool. I would have gone for a Chelsea win, but I don't really like this 3-4-3 formation. Chelsea fans, let me know what you think. We've got Bhutan in the house, Birmingham, Cameroon. Sorry. I'm really excited by where you're all watching from. This is great. Yeah, so I would have gone for a Chelsea win to upset here because Liverpool been a bit sluggish in recent weeks. I think we can all see that from their results. But don't like the 3-4-3. Pulisic being out with a slight injury takes away a lot of the dynamism from Chelsea's attack for me. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Let's see some of your predictions. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. That's what Ren says. Jordanos says Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Pele says Liverpool 3, Chelsea 0. Wow. 4-3 to Liverpool. Victor Guerrero. I hope you're right, Victor. That'll be one heck of a game. Sean says 3-2 to Liverpool. Again, that'd be great. A lot of tight, 1-0 Chelsea, 2-1 Chelsea's. I just don't see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet today, if I'm honest. Obviously, they're going to play to their strengths and they're very good from an attacking perspective. But I do worry about defensively Frank Lampard, and we'll get onto chatting about some of the additions, some of the transfer rumours and reports, because there's a lot floating around Chelsea at the moment. Not just from an attacking perspective. Already bought in Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, obviously, but looking to get Kai Havertz locked up as well. But defensively, they certainly need a lot of help, don't they, from the goalkeeping and centre-back department. So pretty even first 5 minutes at Anfield. Kurt Zuma's just kind of giving the ball away, though, hacked it away quite needlessly. And Liverpool, their press is high, but Kovacic, who was really good in the FA Cup semi-final win against United, just kind of dictating the tempo there in the engine room, him and Jorginho. And they have to play well, right, without N'Golo Kante, who's out of an injury now. A few games he's been out with that hamstring issue. As Marcos Alonso gets it on the left, whips it in, but Joe Gomez clears. So again, I'm Joe Prince-Wright, the lead writer, editor, NBC Sports' Pro Soccer Talk. Thanks for joining me for this watch-along. Send on your questions. I've got some chips and salsa here. Let me know what snacks you're having. Wherever you are in the world, I'm sure there's lots of different dishes and delicacies that you're all enjoying. As Firmino tries to play Salah in the box, he's claiming a foul. Not sure if VAR will get involved there. Mane's got the ball on the edge of the box, bit of a loose pass. This is an open, entertaining start to this game. It's a goal kick to Chelsea. Okay, so get your questions coming in. There's a lot of questions already. I'm doing my best to scroll through them all. Okay, Daniel Abong. Hi, Daniel. So he says, I have a question. Why did Liverpool not take their chance to get a record for the most points? I think that was surprising to all of us, right? They've obviously had a couple of draws against Everton and Burnley. Defeats now, obviously, to Man City since the restart. And Arsenal as well, which was shocking for our last watch-along. None of us watching that expected that, did we? Especially the way the game shaped up. And the easy answer, Daniel, I think that extra 5 or 10%, which has made Liverpool so good this season, just been missing. I don't know if that's the edges taken off because they already have the title wrapped up, and are they going in full bore into tackles? Are they holding off? Is the energy not quite there because they pushed so hard to get over the line at the start of the restart? Who knows? But Williams in for Chelsea here, down the right-hand side. Pulls it back. Reece James whips it in. And Mason Mount. Free header, 6 yards out. Difficult chance, really, but he got in between the two centre-backs there. Van Dijk and Gomez are both looking at each other, but Mason Mount just kind of ghosted him from the penalty spot, got in between, had a free header 6 yards out, and Van Dijk sort of hung his head up to the skies, or looked to the skies, should I say, and looked disappointed because that was a big chance for Chelsea there to take the lead at the Kop end. But Daniel, to finish off answering your question, Liverpool are a wonderful team, but I think if they drop below a couple of percentage points, they're not quite the same. And that's why we've seen draws and kind of labour into wins. And I think with a team like Man City, if you take them as a good example and sort of juxtapose it, they can have an off day and still win 2 or 3-0. But I don't think Liverpool can do that. I think they need to be 100% on it. And that maybe hasn't been the case, and you can kind of understand that. So thanks for your question. Great question, as always. A lot of questions coming in here. Similar question from Sean there, so I hope that answered your question, Sean, about why Liverpool have taken a bit of step off the pace in the last few weeks. Victor Guerrero asked what do I think the score will be. I've gone with 2-2, but feel free to let Victor know what you think it will be in the comments there. Mia says Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. Could see that. Like I said, don't think Chelsea are going to keep a clean sheet. They probably will now, I said that. But obviously defensively, that's been their Achilles heel all season. That's the reason why they haven't already got a top 4 spot locked up. Snapper has said, come on you Spurs in the comments. Brave person there in the comments in the Liverpool-Chelsea game chatting about Spurs. So Christopher Salah said he's having an espresso and a muffin. Wow. Fired up. And plenty of sugar there and caffeine. So fair play to you, Christopher. May need some of that later on, depending on how long that goes. Jordanos says, I'm suspending my lunch because I'm looking at his Chelsea. Okay, so big Chelsea fan there. Respect for that. Not having lunch because of the game is on. I think we've all been there, right? We've all been there with that. And yeah, again, I just want to remind you that this idea of the watch-along is to have a chat amongst yourself in the comments. I'm here to answer any questions you have, but feel free to go back and forward. It's Fernanda is in Brazil. Hi, Fernanda. Lovely to have you with us. Thomas Morgan's got a question here. First, he says Liverpool are going to win 2-1, which seems to be quite a common scoreline prediction here. And Thomas opens up quite nicely to the topic I wanted to speak about in the first half. By the way, not a lot going on in the game. A lot of possession for Chelsea now, but Liverpool are snapping in the tackles, trying to win it back. But they're just kind of carrying on now. Alonso down the left. Mason Mounts whipped it into the box. Crosses too much. Out for a Liverpool throw-in on the far side. Okay, so do Watford or Bournemouth have a chance at survival? Good vision predicting an upturn of form for Villa. And Trezeguet is an extremely underrated player as someone of Egyptian heritage. I agree, Thomas. I think Trezeguet has been great at that finishing touch now against Palace and that massive win yesterday against Arsenal. And thanks for pointing out that I did predict that Aston Villa would get out of trouble, but not all my predictions are correct. I'm not trying to say I'm some kind of guru here, but I did fancy them. The main thing about Villa, I think, separates them from the other teams at the bottom is that they can defend. They spent a lot of time doing double daily Zoom sessions over the break to try and work on defensive shape. Ezri Konsa's been great in his partnership with Mings. Douglas Luiz just in front of that back four. It's been wonderful as well. So I think Villa will stay up. I think they'll get they need a win, obviously, on the final day. And there's a lot of permutations down there, but I just can't see the way that Watford are defending and just the lack of confidence they have with Nigel Pearson getting sacked earlier this week. They're in disarray behind the scenes. I can't see them going to Arsenal and getting anything, even though Arteta said he will play a strong team. They'll obviously have one eye on the FA Cup final, won't they? Because that's their last chance saloon at getting into the Europa League by winning that against Chelsea a week later. So for Bournemouth, I think they will go to Everton and win. I don't know if that will be enough. Obviously, with Aston Villa, I think they'll win at West Ham. But who knows? Crazy things are going to happen on the final day of the season. And at NBC Sports, we'll have you covered. We've got all 10 games across our family of channels, streaming online on NBCSports.com. So look out on Pro Soccer Talk for the full schedule of games. We'll have you covered. Every single game will be live. And it's 11 a.m. Eastern time here in the States for the final day of the season, Championship Sunday. Obviously, the title's already wrapped up, but still have top 4 places to sort out. Europa League. 2 of the relegation spots are going down to the final day. So by my calculations, I believe 6 of the final 10 games will mean something. They'll be pivotal. So in conclusion, Thomas, I think Villa are going to stay up, and I think Bournemouth will win, but they'll just miss out, and that'd be absolutely agonising and devastating for Eddie Howe's side. Going back to this game, Mo Salah has jinked into the box and got body checked by Antonio Rudiger. He's gone down, in my opinion, a little bit easily. No penalty kick. But Kepa and Chelsea are just kind of playing it around at the back here, trying to take some of the pressure off. Giroud's got it now up top. Chelsea so far, the opening 15, 20 minutes of this game, been quite composed. I think Liverpool haven't really gotten to their press. Chelsea is sitting back. Willian's in the box now, loose touch at a pivotal moment. If Willian takes a good touch there, he's probably got a shot on goal inside the box with no Liverpool players around him, really. So seeing a kind of a theme developing, more lax Liverpool defending. Reece James is here, whips it in. Robertson half clears. Keita tidies up, and Robertson clips it clear. But not a great start if you're a Liverpool fan. Don't think so, right? So yeah, the top 4 situation, Europa League relegation battle, I said, all up for grabs on the final day. If you've just watched Manchester United against West Ham, that's a 1-1 draw. So what that means is that United can go to Leicester on the final day and get a draw and seal a top 4 spot. But if Leicester win, they know they're 1 win away from the Champions League. As long as they beat Man United at home on the final day, they're in the Champions League. So not bad going, right? I mean, for Leicester, they must look at their draw against West Ham, draw against Southampton last week for Man United, the defeat to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. Some of the problems there with Pogba and Fernandes looking a little bit off the pace. De Gea's issues in goal. So I would maybe fancy Leicester in that situation. Of course, United have got the slight edge. They can get a draw on the final day. But I don't think United can really play for a draw, right? They're not one of these defensive teams where you'd fancy them to grind out a 0-0 or a 1-1. I fancy Leicester on the final day. So let me know what you think about the top 4 battle. Who do you think is going to grab these final 2 spots? Of course, Chelsea need a win in their final 2 games to guarantee it. Started well here against Liverpool, and then they have Wolves on the final day. In terms of the Europa League, it's kind of chaotic there with Wolves. Oh, Reece James there just smashed a shot just over the bar at the top end. Chelsea nearly took a 1-0 lead. I think Alisson had it covered, but a good effort. But going back to the top 4 discussion and the Europa League discussion, obviously looking at the table, Tottenham are in it, but they sit in 7th place going to final day of the season. They play against Crystal Palace. Wolves are in 6th. And those are the only 2 teams fighting for it there. Obviously with Man United in 5th. Or should I say they've moved up a place now, but it's still so chaotic there. So it's fluid. Let's call the situation fluid. So going to the final day of the season, Leicester will start in 5th, Wolves in 6th, and Tottenham in 7th. And if Chelsea get a point or better tonight, they'll be in 3rd. If they get a win, they would have sealed top 4. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed here. And of course, to wrap up, United are in 3rd on 63 points. Chelsea are 4th on 63 points before this game. So they draw, they move to 64. So by my calculations, all Chelsea need is a point. No, they do need a win. See, this is so fluid. We're trying to work it out on the fly here, but there's so many games coming thick and fast. So yeah, I'll direct you to NBCSports.com. We have all the permutations there, and this is changing all the time with all of the games coming up. So thanks for all your questions coming in. Let's have a look at what's going on in the Championship in the EFL, and to give you a live update on what's going on in the 2nd division in England. It's sort of half-time now. Second half just kicking off around the places, around the grounds in the 2nd tier. Some big results if they hold. Wigan Athletic are 1-0 up against Fulham. Of course, Fulham sat in 4th place heading into this final round of games, but they could have finished in 2nd and got automatic promotion back to the Premier League. They're losing 1-0 at Wigan, and Wigan will have a 12-point deduction for going into administration put onto them at the final whistle of today. So they need to finish at least 12 points above the relegation zone. And by my reckoning, they will just about stay up, because before the games kicked off today, they were 10 points above the drop zone. So Luton are winning, though, at the bottom. Barnsley are winning. So it's kind of chaotic down there. So at the moment, as things stand, Brentford are losing at home, Fulham are losing away, and those are 2 massive games, because Brentford and Barnsley, Brentford are going for automatic promotion, Barnsley are trying to save themselves up and stay up, Wigan are going to try and save themselves, and Fulham are going for automatic promotion. So the relegation sides are coming through strong here against those promotion hopefuls. And then West Brom are actually drawing 1-1. So at the moment, West Brom aren't winning, but as things stand, they will be promoted to the Premier League. But obviously a big second half coming up there. Cardiff look like they're going to nab that 6th place. They're 2-0 up already against Hull City, who look like they're going to get relegated, barring a miracle comeback. So they will just edge out their South Wales rivals, Swansea City, for the 6th and final spot in the playoffs. And Forest, even though they're 1-0 down to Stoke City, looks like they're just hang on to a playoff spot by virtue of having a better goal difference than Swansea. So need to take a breather and a sip of beer after that. But for those of you asking about the Championship final day, that's kind of giving you an update on what's going on there. Okay, so I want to chuck out another question here. Christian Pulisic, I know a lot of you are watching across the USA. I saw your shout outs there. What do you make of sort of his first season and his form since Project Restart? What mark out of 10 would you give Pulisic? I know what I'd give him, but I'm interested to see what you'd give him out of 10 for his first season in England. He's on the bench today with a slight injury, but I think that kind of just underlines how important he is to Chelsea now, right? I mean, Frank Lampard's almost saving him for the final day and for the FA Cup final to say, we need you, Christian. We need you to try and beat Wolves on the final day, which I think will be a tough game, another tough game, but I think they're clearly the favourites to beat Wolves on the final day at home. But I think Pulisic has been top in the top 3 players maybe since the restart. He's come back fitter, stronger. Lampard said he's been working a lot on fitness and bulking up, and I've spoken to him a lot about the pace and power in the Premier League. It's definitely different to the Bundesliga. What are your marks out of 10 for Christian Pulisic? There's a lot coming in. Before we get started on that, Pollux says, where is Brentford? Brentford is West London. Got a lovely new stadium, the old stadium, Griffin Park, their final game in it. Been there for forever. Interesting fact about Brentford, which ties in with what I'm about to do. It's the only pub in England, probably the world, I don't know, you have to tell me, that has a only pub. It's the only stadium in England, I'm thinking about beer too much, that has a pub on each corner of the stadium. So on all 4 corners of the stadium at Brentford, they have a pub. It's really cool. You can kind of do a bar crawl before the game. All really old, authentic pubs. One of them did shut down for a while, but people rallied to open it back up again, at least for match days. So Brentford's really cool. They're moving out of that stadium, building a brand new stadium right next door to it. It's ready to roll. If they can come back in the second half here with West Brom drawing, they could make sure that they're, what a goal, in the Premier League next season. Playing against the likes of Liverpool, and Naby Keita has just smashed in an absolute beauty, and Jurgen Klopp is as happy as Larry. You have to look at his facial expression there. Delighted. Naby Keita got the ball. Azpilicueta, kind of a weak clearance. Van Dijk won it. Willian gave it away. And then Keita had a lot to do. Picked up the ball about 30 yards out. Ran 5 yards towards goal. And then unleashed an absolute thunderbolt. Quite central, though. Kepa, Chelsea fans, do you think he should have done a bit better there? It's a great hit. It's kind of come off the underside of the bar and in, but I think this just underlines again that Chelsea need a better goalkeeper, because Kepa, this happened to him against Crystal Palace recently when Zaha hit a similar shot from outside the box that went central, but right on the drinks break, Naby Keita has put Liverpool 1-0 up. So Liverpool fans, what do you think about that? Chelsea fans, do you need a new goalkeeper? Okay, so let's get to some of your Pulisic marks out of 10. Cameron Robinson says 6 out of 10. That's interesting. I say slightly low considering what he's done recently, but maybe no. Cameron Robinson, you've checked that. I was going to say 7 out of 10. Fair play to you for changing it in the comments. I'm going to go with 7 out of 10. I think he's shown great glimpses and little bursts of how good he can be. Consistently hasn't done it throughout the season, but yeah, a very promising season. A passing grade, shall we say. Ibrahim says 8 out of 10. Sean says 8 out of 10. Helen says 8 out of 10. Sharik says 10 out of 10. Wow. Very impressive Pulisic there. Falou says 8 out of 10. And Azoa says his speed is nice. I would give him an 8. And Zachariah says, I'm American. We are very proud of his achievements, and it's good to see how far he has come. I like that comment. I think it's good to see that. I've mentioned this, I think, before in previous watch-alongs. Spoke to Christian at the start of the season after Chelsea beat Brighton. I think it was maybe the 5th game in a row where he was on the subs bench and didn't get a look in, didn't get on. Very despondent, very down. It's kind of asking for Frank Lampard to give him some guidance. But looking back on it, I think that was a great lesson for him on what he needed to do to stay in the team, what to do in training, how to impress. And ever since then, really, he's kind of kicked on and I kind of remember the Champions League game away at Ajax. He come on, set up a goal, was electric, had that great purple patch in late October, got a lot of assists, obviously the hat-trick against Burnley, goals against Watford and Palace. And then he's kicked on massively after that injury he had since the break. So, yeah, I think he's just come on leaps and bounds, and I think he's surprised probably himself, probably US fans, probably Chelsea fans, and most importantly, Lampard. I think, now he's one of the first names on the team sheet at Chelsea. They're definitely missing him today. So I think Pulisic probably come on, if he doesn't come on at half time, maybe for the last 30 minutes, because Chelsea, they've had some decent possession, but they haven't really looked like hurting Liverpool too much right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lampard ditch this 3-4-3 system. Maybe go for a 4-3-3 in the second half, but not disastrous, but not great either. So yeah, what a strike. A lot of you loving that goal from Naby Keita there. And I think in a rare occasion, right, Man United fans are cheering on Liverpool tonight to kind of keep Chelsea out of harm's way. Obviously, United will be third on 63 points, and Chelsea will be fourth on 63 points, but United will have, let me see, work out my math, plus 15 on goal differential if this score stands and Chelsea lose 1-0 tonight. So, promising signs of Man United fans cheering on Liverpool. I'm sure you're all doing that, right? Anyway. Good question here from Fallow. What was my favourite Premier League title race? I really enjoyed last season with it being so close and those teams being so good. City and Liverpool. I was at Brighton, Man City on the final day, and that was even dramatic when City let in an early goal, but then came roaring back and won it. But I think we have to say 2012, Aguero, last gasp against Man United, noisy neighbours. United thought they'd won it. City came roaring back late on, goals, stoppage time, and that moment, I think, will be tough to beat in terms of the title race. But last season was neck and neck for the whole season. So I think the quality of that title race really sticks out for me. So yeah, lovely question. A lot of love for Borussia Dortmund there in the comments section. There's a lot of players from Dortmund been linked to Premier League clubs. Jadon Sancho, do you think he'd be a good move for Manchester United? Someone else. Firmino's in. Mane's at the back post, but a wonderful block by Cesar Azpilicueta, and Chelsea get away with it. But Salah, all he needed was a few half yards there to get on the turn. Played in Firmino. Mane was waiting for it on the plate, 10 yards out. But Azpilicueta, great sliding tackle there to deny Liverpool the second goal. Chelsea is struggling now, though. The ball went up to Giroud, couldn't hold it up, and then just playing into Liverpool's hands now. I don't think Frank Lampard will be happy at all. Have some more chips and salsa. So, again, let me know what you're drinking, what you're eating, where you are. Man, that's good. A bit spicy. Not good. Mane's gone down the penalty box. Liverpool looking for a penalty there. Don't think so. That would have been pretty soft, I think, that penalty if that was given. And yeah, Chelsea really can't get a foothold in the game after Liverpool's opener. Really have kicked into second gear. Or probably fourth or fifth. Helen's Fanta and Doritos. Water. Who's winning? 1-0 Liverpool, by the way. So Naby Keita goal, smashed it centrally off the bar. A few question marks about Kepa. Should have maybe kept it out. But yeah. That's the score. Liverpool cranking through the gears now. Salah looks like a man on a mission, or kind of taken on Antonio Rudiger at will at the moment, and he's just poked a shot into the near post when probably should have crossed it, if I'm honest. Let's have a look who's in the box. Firmino was in the box, wide open, but Kepa kind of had the angle covered, so you can see why Salah's tried to give the goalie the eyes and sneak it in the near post, but I don't think that was really on, to be honest with you. Okay, Coop says 20 out of 10 for Pulisic. Oh, that's a deflection, by the way, on that Salah shot. So I've done him a disservice. It's a corner kick to Liverpool. I wonder why it went so far off of where he was aiming. Okay, a lot of pushing and shoving in the penalty box. Firmino and Rudiger trying to hug each other, as per Lequer. Chelsea have had some issues, haven't they, from set-piece situations. Wijnaldum, completely unmarked to the back post, heads it down, but straight at Kepa. So how did he get this free? Reece James got totally blocked off, and Wijnaldum, free header at the back post. Difficult chance, but Chelsea fans defensively, a lot of issues. Oh, Chelsea are in. 1-on-1. Mason Mount. 1-1, is it? I think he's offside. He's offside. Looked like he's offside, but could be tight. Yeah, I don't think he's offside. Is he offside? Oh. The VAR's having a check. VAR check going on. Yeah, he's offside, just right foot. From the angle we had before, it looked like he was level, so relax, relax. Okay, got pints of beer from Pollock in Arlington, Texas. Cheers, mate. Can't go to the pub here. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole idea of this watch-along. So even though we're all over the world, I think we had shout-outs for Hogwarts last week, Canada, Australia, you name it. But no matter where we are, can't quite get together to watch this game together. So this is the whole idea. Have beer, snacks, watch the game, send me your questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Football, Premier League, Champions League, any leagues, life in general. What's the meaning of life, if you want to go really deep with it. I don't mind whatever questions you want to ask. Cameron Robinson, Jacksonville's in the house. Helen asks, are they wearing their new kits for 2020, 2021? Chelsea are, yes. They've been wearing them for a couple of weeks now. And there's a big 3 on the front, which a lot of people in the comments have already kind of brought up. Conceded 3, obviously, against West Ham. I'm not going to go there in the comments. North Carolina in the building. Mark Brown, how you doing, mate? Okay, what's the meaning of life? So, Rafi, I knew someone was going to ask me that as soon as I brought it up. To watch football and to have a good time. I think we can all agree with that, right? Moonlight says the Tasmanian League. That is one league. There's not many leagues I'm not up on the latest, but there's not a lot. So if you can enlighten us in the comments about the Tasmanian League, be happy with that. Question here. What do I think about Man United and Jadon Sancho? I think with the emergence of Mason Greenwood, it's kind of put it on the back burner a little bit. But watching the games against Southampton and West Ham, I think United are slightly, they're great going forward, but I think they're slightly one-dimensional with Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, like the front 3, if you will, with Fernandes and Pogba in behind. They all want to just kind of go forward and in behind, whereas Jadon Sancho loves to cut inside, very creative, keeps the ball well. And I think he would add an extra dimension to their attack, because when you look after those 3 or 4 players I mentioned, obviously Daniel James, Juan Mata, Lingard, they're quite a step down in quality. You know, Mata's a great player and has been a great player, but I think over the years he's obviously, you know, he's towards the end of his career. Let's put it that way. But I think we're kind of seeing that maybe Sancho is more necessary now. There's reports that United are putting in €80 million offer, even though Dortmund won 100 million, after they know if they're in the Champions League or not, so within the next few days. And then seeing, you know, if Dortmund really want to sell him, because they've already said many times that he's not going to be here for a while, and a while longer. You know, they know realistically he's only going to be there for a couple of seasons. So I would say I could see it happening. I don't know if it's a necessity for United. Just depends. If they get in the Champions League, I can see them getting Jadon Sancho. I think that's fair enough. Good comment there from Brian Bushin in the comments. The Tasmanian League is spinning out of control. Those are the dad jokes I'm here for, Brian. I tell dad jokes all the time. I'm not even a father, so I can totally get on board for that. So maybe send your best dad jokes in the comments. This has gone off on a tangent. But Lampard and Klopp are having a few words, trying to calm each other down. Lampard and Klopp getting a bit chippy there on the sidelines. Interesting. The Liverpool against Chelsea rivalry continues. Let's see the other questions you got here. Thomas, how will Leeds do in the Premier League next year? If Villa stay up, their owners are committed to spending, so can they do? Oh, wow, sorry. Just did my best impression of a koala there, of a leaf there, because 2-0 Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold has just whipped in a beautiful free kick into the top corner. He's done it once again. I think he did it against Palace, was it, just after the restart? I mean, Kepa's rooted to the spot, gone up and over the wall, round the outside of the wall. Kind of Mason Mount and Giroud, it's gone in between them. They both turned their backs, but Liverpool 2-0 up, absolutely cruising before half-time. And if my 2-2 score prediction between Liverpool and Chelsea is going to come true, then I think we're going to need a second-half masterclass from Christian Pulisic. I'm sure we all love to see that, right? It was a great strike, but if you'll see it, it's curled up and over the wall, and it was very obvious where he was going to go. So I think for both of these goals now for Chelsea, you have to point the finger at Kepa. I know it's easy to blame the goalkeeper. The goalkeepers union will be shouting at me out there, but I just think that it's so many similar mistakes now from a positional point of view. How does that really improve? I mean, it can improve, but I think, you know, Lampard said it in the week. He loves to have a modern goalkeeper who's good with the ball, but first and foremost, he wants him to be a good shot stopper. And I don't think Kepa is. I think he's okay with the ball at his feet. That's probably the best part of his game. But from a commanding his area perspective, from a pure shot stopping goalkeeping perspective, just don't see it. So whether it be Dean Henderson they've been linked with Marc-Andre ter Stegen at Barcelona, Jan Oblak at Atletico Madrid. A lot of that's setting the bar very high to try and get those guys, and they have to spend a lot of money. But this is Chelsea. If they want to go to the next level, they're going to have to get a better goalkeeper than Kepa. And maybe Andre Onana from Ajax would be the cheaper option. He's young, more dominant from a crossing ability in the box. But Giroud had a header on target. But just right at Alisson, to be honest. So, yeah, Chelsea looking sluggish in this first half. Liverpool 2-0 up and haven't really had to break a sweat. And the cameras pan to slightly concerned-looking Frank Lampard. It's kind of been coming, right? I mean, Chelsea didn't play great against Norwich, got the 1-0 win, kind of squeaked themselves to victory there. Obviously beat Man United in the FA Cup semi-final. Let's not forget about that. But that was more about De Gea having an off day than Chelsea being too good, in my opinion. So, yeah. Miles says, how are you? I'm doing great, Miles. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Let me know where you're watching. Meaning in life equals beer. That's pretty good. Cheers. Got to refresh this at halftime. Okay, got a good question here from Tialok. Who do I predict will win the Champions League this year? I think it'll be either Bayern or Juve. Yeah, both are looking good. I'd probably go for Bayern or Man City. I think Man City are kind of just clicking through the gears. I think they'll get past Real Madrid just about. That'll be the tough, and obviously the way the draws worked out, they're kind of on the tougher side of the draw. But I think if Aguero's back fit, like he probably should be, that will add a lot to them as well. And De Bruyne, the way he's playing and creating, I think it's kind of, don't rule out Barcelona as well. There's a lot to be said about a wounded animal after losing the title or giving up their title to Real Madrid. Messi certainly looks in the mood, and he's been really angry with some of his comments after the La Liga season finished. So Barca, Bayern, Man City. Take your pick. Let me know who you guys want, or who you think will win the Champions League. Mason Mount again, free on the left, but overhit his cross. Real lack of quality from Chelsea. They're getting into the final third here, but Giroud got in a good position, just needed a good cross, and he was pretty livid there that he didn't get that. So very disappointing first 45 minutes for Chelsea overall. Salah nearly got in again. I'll tell you what, just before half-time, let's check in on the Championship, the madness that is the English second tier. All right, Fulham have got a goal back. It's 1-1 against Wigan. Leeds are 4-0 up against Charlton. Brentford are still losing at home against Barnsley. West Brom QPR is 2-2. So QPR have just equalised for a second time here. So what that all means to the table is that if my math is correct, 3-0. 3-0, Liverpool. Wijnaldum right on half-time. This is turned into an absolute disaster for Chelsea. And talk about winning the game in style before you win the trophy, or you lift the trophy, rather. Robertson's corner came in. Handball by Mo Salah looked like, because Giroud won the header at the near post, but it actually came off Jorginho's hand. Liverpool were appealing for a penalty. Chelsea players stopped, and Wijnaldum reacted quickest and smashed it in first time. Again, horrendous defending from Chelsea, a reoccurring theme in this first half. And quite frankly, they deserve to be 3-0 down. Lampard will not be happy. He has a face like thunder on the sidelines. Not happy. Chelsea players complaining about a handball in the build-up. They're trying to say that I think Salah handled it, but referee's not having any of it. Don't know if VAR's checking. I can't see the VAR logo or... No, on we go. That's it. 3-0 to Liverpool before half-time. Goals. Ooh. From Naby Keita, Alexander-Arnold, and Jorginho Wijnaldum, as Firmino does a lovely little pass with his back. Chelsea are coming forward here, but the imperious Virgil van Dijk knocks it away. And this has been shambolic from Chelsea. So, Man United fans, you're all big Liverpool fans right now, I can assume, heading into the final game of the season with the top four situation kind of working in your favour now. I know it's a winner-takes-all battle against Leicester, but for Leicester fans as well, you must be loving this, because Wolves, they still need a win to lock up 6th spot to get that Europa League group stage place, rather than run the gauntlet being 7th and going through qualifying potentially. Or if Arsenal win the FA Cup, then 7th place isn't a Europa League spot. Yeah, so they're in. Oh, Cameron's happy. Fantasy points. I'm assuming, Cameron, you got a lot of Liverpool players there. Tottenham fans in the comments section. bringing up the fact that they have Chelsea's new sponsor has 3 on it again. Keeps happening, right? Keeps happening for Chelsea. Oh, nearly another goal for Liverpool there. Okay, Brian asks thoughts on who's going down on Sunday in the Premier League. Of course, Brian, is big talking point, as I said, 6 out of 10 games on Championship Sunday. Going down to the wire with something on the line there. We got, Europa League, top 4 relegation. In the relegation battle, like you asked, I think Watford are doomed. They play Arsenal away. I think Arsenal are going to show a reaction from that defeat against Villa. I think Villa, now that West Ham are safe, West Ham are playing for pride and trying to push up, but I can see Villa winning. I can see Watford losing, or at the very best getting a draw. And I don't think that point will be enough, because I think Bournemouth will win away at Everton as well. But I think Bournemouth will come up short just. And I think Aston Villa are going to stay up. And I think Aston Villa deserve to stay up because they've been better defensively. Trezeguet scoring goals. Jack Grealish is creating. And they haven't looked great for most of the season, but they've changed the way they play a little bit. I spoke to Dean Smith after the win against Arsenal last night via the beauty of Zoom, and he was happy. And he said, we looked at these last 4 games as playoff situations, like semi-finals, and now we've set ourselves up to be in the final, and it's a winner-takes-all situation. So there's the added wrinkle that if all 3 teams at the bottom win, obviously Bournemouth, that's no good for them, but in terms of Watford and Aston Villa, if they both win, goes down to goal difference. Villa have got the slight edge there. But if they finish level on goal difference, it might go down to goals scored. And then after that, there's a scenario where they could finish level on all of the metrics, and they would lead a one-off playoff game to decide who gets relegated to the Championship. So can't even think about that right now. But Chelsea scored right on half-time. Game on. Giroud slides it home from close range. Do we have a game on our hands now? It's Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. 48th minute, in the final minute of stoppage time in the first half. Mason Mount gets the ball on the left, whips it in, takes a deflection. Alonso flicks it on. Willian hits it. And then you have to say Alisson, maybe some spin on the ball, but he just flicks the ball up into the air, loops over him towards the goal. And Giroud there, sharp as you like as ever, the Frenchman is there just to prod it home about a yard out. Maybe game on, 3-1. Some more, growing themes here we're seeing throughout this game. Sloppy defending from both these teams for Chelsea throughout the season, for Liverpool since the restart. So that's half-time. Score is Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. Very, very interesting indeed. So again, I'm going to fill you in on what's going on in the Championship as well, because it's absolutely chaos down there. Brentford have equalised, ladies and gentlemen. Brentford have equalised, which means, as things stand, they will be 1 point behind West Brom, who are still drawing with QPR. So if Brentford could find 1 goal late on in the last 15 minutes against Barnsley, who are battling for their lives at the bottom, and West Brom cannot find a goal, Brentford will be promoted to the Premier League for the first time in their history. So this is something to get excited about. West London club, driven by analytics, and have some really great people working behind the scenes there. Thomas Frank, the job they've done, brought through a lot of good young players that have maybe been cast aside by other teams and given them a chance. But wow, this is exciting. This is exciting. So to wrap up this game, 3-1 to Liverpool at half-time. I'm going to go and refresh this beer. Feel free to do the same for yourselves. Give me some questions, maybe some questions about the second half, some thoughts. Fallow's got a good question here. Why aren't Ziyech and Werner playing? So they're signed for Chelsea. They're Chelsea players, but they cannot they're not registered to play in the 2019-20 season because you needed that list of players to be in just before the restart. That was kind of the rules, obviously, exceptional circumstances given everything with the coronavirus pandemic, but that's why they're not playing. They'll be able to play next season. But they have, in terms of Ziyech, been training with Chelsea, and Werner's a little bit behind because the Bundesliga obviously finished recently. But I'm going to go and grab another beer. Again, feel free to do the same for yourself. I'll be back in a minute. I'll leave you guys to chat amongst yourself in the comments section as we set up for a good second half here. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. A lot of good attacking play, not great defending, but hopefully we see a lot more goals in the second half. All right, I'm going to get a beer. I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, I'm back. Can everyone hear me? Good to see you chatting in the comments there. 3-3 draw, people predicting. Wow. Chelsea fans. Cheers, by the way. Get yourself a fresh one. Wherever you're watching from. Okay, Thomas, you want to know about Brentford? This is a good time, second half here, or half time, to kind of look at who's doing what. 83rd minute. Brentford 1, Barnsley 1, West Brom 2, QPR 2, Fulham 1, Wigan 1. So all the teams that could clinch that second and final automatic spot, they're all drawing. So that means with 7 minutes of the season to go, West Brom are on course to get promoted to the Premier League. But 1 goal for Brentford late on, a goal for Fulham late on. If Fulham score late on, they need QPR to score late on at West Brom as well. So I can't really see that happening. At the bottom of the table, this is interesting. So many of the teams at the bottom are winning. And by my calculations, and wonderful help from many online apps which help you out when it comes to the math and the final day situation, Charlton are going to get relegated and Luton Town are going to save themselves on the final day. Charlton are getting hammered at Leeds United and Luton Town are now winning 3-2. Oh, Blackburn just pulled one back. So 3-2. So unless Blackburn score 2 goals late on, Charlton are going straight back down to League One, which is be a huge blow to Lee Bowyer's team because they've done so well for most of the season with all their financial problems, ownership issues. And yeah, aside from that, Middlesbrough, Birmingham, they're going to stay up. But the real talk of the story there is at the top. As things stand, Nottingham Forest will finish. Hang on a minute. Nottingham Forest are in 6th on 70 points and have +9 goal differential. Swansea is 7th on 70 points and have +8 goal differential. And Swansea are playing against 10-man Reading, so they can get 1 more goal in the final few minutes. My understanding is that Swansea would get promoted, get in the playoffs by virtue of goals scored over Nottingham Forest. So Swansea need 1 more goal or Forest to let in another goal at home against Stoke City because they're losing 3-1. So it's absolute madness in the Championship. There's a few minutes to go there. We'll have you covered on NBCSports.com, all the latest reaction analysis, not just from the Premier League, but who's getting promoted to the Premier League, who stayed up. But it's absolutely bonkers. Brentford know if they score late on, they can get promoted to the Premier League. They go into the final 3 minutes of the season knowing they need 1 more goal, and they will be automatically promoted to the Premier League for the first time in their history. So a lot going on here aside from Liverpool-Chelsea, but I want your predictions for the second half here. What do you think Chelsea need to do here? Does Pulisic need to come on at half-time? Looking at the bench, they obviously have a lot of attacking options, really, that Frank Lampard has at his disposal. We got Hudson-Odoi, Pedro, Loftus-Cheek, Tammy Abraham. Do they just go for it now? Do they kind of just go with a 4-3-3, almost like a 4-1-4-1 formation? Because Liverpool have looked a little bit vulnerable, right, from a defensive point of view. So interesting to hear your thoughts as we get geared up for the second half of this watch-along. Again, I'm Joe Prince-Wright. Thanks for joining me. Liverpool against Chelsea. Liverpool 3-1 up. Lewis Hammond says Liverpool 5, Chelsea 1. A lot of people predicting 4-3 to Chelsea. Well, Frank Lampard out. Frank Lampard in, other people are saying. Sounds like there's a lot of conversation there. I think that's too early. I think even if Chelsea don't finish in the top 4 this season, yes, it will be a bit of disappointment because they spent the majority of the season up there. But if they win the FA Cup and finish 5th, I still think they're ahead of where they should be under Frank Lampard with the squad of players that he's had at his disposal. Discuss that in the comments, but I don't think anybody really thought they'd be in the top 4 at the start of the season. So yeah, a lot of goals conceded though. I mean, the amount of goals that you concede, I think, yeah, just as if it's so many goals conceded now, 52 goals conceded, and you're somehow still in the top 4. That's unreal. That shows you the problem area, and that's the only concern I have about Chelsea when you look at, you know, their attacking players that they've signed and are looking to sign. Defensively, what are you doing? You need to sign more players. All right, the Championship, another update here. Live situation, and it is a situation, my goodness. Swansea have just scored again. So that means, as things stand, bear with me here, as it stands, Swansea are going 6th. They're level on goal difference and points with Nottingham Forest, who are losing 3-1 at home against Stoke City. Swansea are winning 4-1 at Reading. So that means with a minute plus stoppage time to go, Swansea will nick the last playoff spot by virtue of goals scored. So my goodness me, what a wild situation this is. Oh man, this is, and Brentford, it's going down to the wire. I can't believe what's going on here. Second half's kicked off, by the way, at Anfield. Frankel, he plays around too much. Keep Kepa bench. Mount is tired. There is a lot. Chat amongst yourself in the comments, because I can see this has opened up a can of worms here about Frank Lampard and his future. The Chelsea fans, you really think that he hasn't done a good job this season with the players at his disposal? I think he's done a very good job, but that's just me. I cannot believe either Brentford or Fulham aren't going to score late here. They're both in the 89th minute. QPR are holding on, and at this point, they will go up by 1 point. This has been a crazy last day in the Championship. Oh, wow, Barnsley. Barnsley have just scored against Brentford. They've gone 2-1 up. That basically ends Brentford's hopes of automatic promotion. And yeah, unless, even if Fulham score a late winner now, unless West Brom let a late goal in, West Brom are up. West Brom are going to stay up. I'll go up, sorry. And wow, this is just absolute chaos. Start of the second half. Chelsea done a lot of pressing. Liverpool can't really get out of their own half at the moment. So a positive sign for Chelsea. I'm just keeping across these last couple of seconds of the Championship season, so I can tell you exactly who has sealed automatic promotion, which teams are going to be relegated. Because at the moment, it's utter madness. It's all I can describe it as, really. Chelsea has started the second half really well. Really, really well. Just got a text from a friend saying the Championship is absolutely bonkers. Yeah, we all know that, right? Fulham have almost just scored. Oh, this is incredible. Oh, this, imagine if you're a fan. There's so much going on down there at the bottom of the table. It's just absolute carnage. West Brom on the brink of promotion. Fulham, they need a goal. Brentford, pretty much out of it. But surely this is West Brom now to get an automatic promotion. They've been up there all season long with Leeds United. Surely they will not chuck this away now. Surely, right? I mean, they can't do that. It's all going their way. But if Fulham get this late goal, even then they would need QPR to nick a late one as well. So they'd be asking for their West London neighbours to do them a big favour. Don't see that happening. Salah's in, and has maybe just put the worst finish I've seen in a long time. Oh, wow. Mo Salah, clean through on goal, goes to finish with sort of a toe poke, shanks it off his left foot, goes horribly wide. There's a big chance there for Liverpool to put the game to bed, but also probably showcases, right, what is wrong with Chelsea at the moment. Defensively giving up so many chances. Really, really lucky there for Chelsea not to concede another one. Okay, so just, I'm looking at some of the other comments here. Drizzy King says Chelsea fans are delusional if they think putting Lampard out will make the team better. Why do you think that? I mean, there are a lot of good managers out there, but like I said earlier, I think he's done a really good job, Lampard, with the players at his disposal to be in the top four hunt at this point of the season. FA Cup final. They made the Champions League knockout rounds, yet they're probably not going to beat Bayern, obviously, after that 3-0 drubbing in the first leg of the last 16. But yeah, I don't know. Got a question here from Grindel, says, who will get in the Champions League, Man United, Chelsea or Leicester? I had to pick now, I'd say Chelsea and Man United, but the way Chelsea are playing, I think they might draw on the final day of the season at home against Wolves, maybe even slip up. So that would allow, again, if my math is correct, that would allow a situation where Leicester would finish fourth on goal difference and Man United would finish third. So Man United and Leicester would play for a draw if Chelsea lost at home. So yeah, it would be interesting in the last 45 minutes if Chelsea are losing at home. And Jamie Smith, you summed it up. What did Nottingham Forest just do? Yeah, I mean, they've just blown it the whole season. They've been in the playoffs all season. Swansea have won. Forest are still playing. But West Brom, with that point, barring a 96th minute 2-goal comeback from Brentford, have been promoted back to the Premier League. Well done to Baggies fans. West Brom, Slavan Bilic has done a really good job there. It's not easy when a team goes down to kind of rebuild and put the pieces back together. But after losing against Huddersfield, drawing against QPR, it's not been pretty from West Brom since the restart, but they've stumbled over the line and they've got there. And Stoke City let us to score the fourth. So Forest totally out of it. Swansea City fans everywhere, you're in the playoffs. That's incredible. So as I look at the table right now, the playoff situation in the Championship for promotion to the Premier League is Brentford against Swansea and Fulham against Cardiff, which is two very good games there. I had to pick now, momentum-wise, Cardiff and Swansea, the two Welsh teams, are playing pretty well. Wouldn't that be something, a playoff final of the Championship for all the chips, for promotion, $200 million at least prize fund to get to the Premier League between Cardiff and Swansea? That is, well, that would be a great game. But Brentford and Fulham have been great all season in the playoff spots, sniffing around automatic promotion. So whatever happens in that situation, it'll be pretty good. So again, we'll have you covered on NBCSports.com in the Championship playoff situation. Look out for all the analysis and reaction on that. But going to focus here on Liverpool-Chelsea, 3-1 to Liverpool, second half. I'll chuck out a question here. Who have been, name 3 players who have been your best players at a restart. So Mason Greenwood got another big goal today. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Christian Pulisic for Chelsea. And then my final player that I'd probably pick is the best since the restart. As I say this, Firmino's just scored. Firmino finally scores at Anfield. Finally scores at Anfield. Scores a powerful header. Got in between the Chelsea defence. Too easy, really. But what a ball down the right that was. And Firmino's nodded home. He's finally scored a Premier League home goal. Alexander-Arnold, absolutely beautiful delivery. Whipped it in on the money. Firmino just has to nod it in. He's got in between, I believe it's Azpilicueta and Zuma there. Kepa just caught in no man's land. And Liverpool cruising 4-1 up as they are going to seal their trophy lift in style. What a way to do this for Liverpool. So, as I said before that, give me your players of the restart so far. I'm going with Pulisic. I'm going with Greenwood. Probably Bruno Fernandes, but he's kind of looked a bit tired in recent weeks. But Richarlison's been good at Everton. De Bruyne's obviously been really good. Mikel Antonio's been fantastic. Top goal scorer, I believe, in the Premier League since the restart. Who had that? No one. No one in the comments had that. So there's been a lot of really good players since the restart, but I want to hear your comments. Antonio, Edmund says, all right, read my mind there. So 13 assists there for Trent. I mean, his assist record, him and Robertson. Obviously, De Bruyne is only one away from the record now with Thierry Henry, but what Liverpool's fullbacks have been able to provide all season, right, has just been on another level from anything we've really seen from any fullbacks, really, in Premier League history, let alone 2 at the same time. The width, the quality on the crosses, passing, the way they both work back. They're not just, what I love about Alexander-Arnold Robertson is that they're willing to do, you know, the hard yards, to dig deep and not leave their side short defensively, which I'm looking at Marcos Alonso on the ball here, just giving it away. He's an example of a fullback that loves to go forward but doesn't love to defend. And Mo Salah there, the shot was deflected over. He is laughing because he wants that goal to try and push on in the Golden Boot race for the final 2 games of the season, but I think he's going to come up short. But once again, Chelsea, Zuma does well to recover, but all over the place defensively. Okay, so Christian Pulisic is coming on. It's good news for Chelsea and US national team fans. It's at least one positive. So Chelsea fans, now we've got a bit of a break in play. If you don't finish in the top 4, is that a success for this season? Let me know. And also, which defensive players do you need to buy? You've been linked with Nathan Ake, been linked with a lot of goalkeepers, like I said earlier, Oblak, Henderson, ter Stegen. Which players do you want to see come in defensively? Because you know Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, Havertz could come in. If you think about the money you've spent over the last 12 to 18 months, that's close to what, $300 million maybe in transfer fees alone on attacking players. So there's no doubt you're a good team going forward, but defensively, which players or goalkeepers should you buy? That's one question. And the other question, is this season a success if you don't finish in the top 4? I'll let you sort that out in the comments. So Dieter says, I want to see an elite defender at Chelsea. So which defender would you like? I think Koulibaly's been linked with a lot of Premier League teams. Obviously, a dominant centre-back. Upamecano. Nathan Ake, as I said, looks like he might be edging towards Manchester City, even though Chelsea have a buyback clause in that one. So a bit strange why they wouldn't take that up, because he's obviously a quality defender. Dejan Lovren is being offered to Chelsea by fans in the comments. Not sure Chelsea fans would be happy with that. John Stones, not a bad shout. He's lost his way at Man City a little bit. I think Pep has lost confidence in him, but he's not bad centre-back by any stretch of the imagination, is he? He's not bad at all, John Stones. It'd probably be, there's some talk about him going to Arsenal maybe, with Arteta knowing him well. So seems like he's up for grabs. Wouldn't be the worst signing in the world. Young English centre-back, needs maybe a fresh change of environment. Yeah, answers on a postcard or in the comments. Romagnoli, good shout. Good shout. Phil Jones, that's from a Man United fan. True United, will you take Pulisic's first touch, gets in on the left, cuts in from the left, pulls it back to Alonso. He's playing it around. Great first touch there by Christian Pulisic. Already shown what he can do there for Chelsea. And he's just running at Liverpool. Oh, my word. Pulisic, what an assist. What a pull assist. The subs combine. Christian Pulisic has just taken on about 3 Liverpool players and left them on the floor in one movement. Alexander-Arnold nutmegs Joe Gomez, plays it into Abraham on a plate, and he taps home. The American boy wonder has done it again. That is unreal. The close control, the directness. He's just torn through half the Liverpool defence. Wow. What can't this kid do? This is unbelievable right now. The subs combine. It's 4-2. Still got 30 minutes to go. So maybe Chelsea aren't out of this. But, wow. Only on for a couple of minutes. I said earlier, Pulisic showed what he could do. Wow. That is incredible from the American international. So let me know what you think about Pulisic in the comments section. We had the ratings of him earlier, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Wow. There you go. He was on the pitch for less than 2 minutes, and he did that. Ripped open Liverpool's defence, set up Tammy Abraham to make it 4-2. Like I said, tell me your top 3 players since the restart. I'm going with Pulisic, Mason Greenwood, and probably Bruno Fernandes. Those are going to be my 3. I think Man United have been pretty good, apart from the last couple of games. So Dieter says, mark my words, Pulisic is going to play a huge part of Chelsea, will challenge for the title next. I agree with that. He's, Pollock 76 says it there. It's a great Eden Hazard replacement. I just think his understanding of the game has improved dramatically. No, he's in. Oh, this is exactly what Pulisic is doing, because he was clean through. And he's clean through after a lovely ball over the top from Reece James. Chests it down, bounces up, and he dragged the shot wide. Pulisic almost had an assist and a goal. within 3 minutes of coming off the bench. Captain America is doing it again. Why didn't he start? This is what you're going to be asking if you're a Chelsea fan, but my goodness, getting very excited here. Getting very, very excited. So, yeah, Chelsea's defence is interesting. Good way to put it, SC Caretta. Adidas says Pulisic, Greenwood, and Mikel Antonio. Oh, yeah. Jamie Smith said Pulisic's having a good game, you American lot. Jamie. American fans everywhere delighted. Some fireworks going off around Anfield in the second half here. Obviously, Liverpool fans letting off fireworks as the game is going on outside. There's a celebration mode, 25 minutes until the end of the game, and they get to lift the trophy. But it's not over. Not over by a long stretch of imagination. Lovely aerial shot over Anfield in the night sky, Merseyside. Fireworks exploding behind the Kop end. And this is pretty cool to see. But on the pitch, fireworks here. Liverpool 4, Chelsea 2. I said it'd be a draw. If it's a draw now, that'll be absolutely wild. But, yeah, let's wait and see. Raheem Sterling. All right. Some people still saying looking at the players of the restart so far. Okay, so we focused on Chelsea and their improvement, but Liverpool, another shaky defensive display here. Liverpool fans, what do you want to see? Is this just a little blip since the restart? James Milner's come on, by the way. He's taken the captain's armband. There he is. Curtis Jones on as well. Do we think Liverpool have to improve from a player personnel perspective? Is it just a focus thing? Because I'm looking here at their lineup. So I've got where can Liverpool, strengthen? We've spoken about this in other watch-alongs. We've spoken about using young players for Jurgen Klopp, and how he's willing to groom them to come through, and they already know the system, and he'd rather do that than spend $100 million on a new player. But Alisson's good in goal. Alexander-Arnold's good at right back. Van Dijk is one of the centre backs. Robertson left back. I think they probably need maybe an upgrade on Joe Gomez if we're being harsh or very critical. In midfield, Wijnaldum, Firmino, Henderson can probably go together for another couple of seasons. But if Thiago Alcantara comes in, that's a huge upgrade. On midfield, Naby Keita would be kind of like a new signing if he's fit. Spoke to Klopp about him recently and he's raving about him. And obviously, he scored a goal today, but still a bit concerned about some of his defensive responsibilities. But Thiago as that deep line playmaker would be good. And then the front three there are Salah, Firmino, Mane. I don't know how you get better attacking players to back them up than Origi, Shaqiri, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott. I don't know if Pulisic has just whipped in a cheeky little shot to the near post. There's the drinks break now, and he's made a massive difference since he came on. So Liverpool 4, Chelsea 2 with 23 minutes to go. This is really cool. And to remind you to tune in to NBCSN here in the USA or watch on NBCSports.com after we're finished here on the Watchalong, as you can watch the trophy lift. Sir Kenny Dalglish will be involved, a lot of Liverpool legends as well as the players themselves. And then, of course, we'll see John Henderson, even though he's injured, he'll lift the trophy. And this has been a moment they've been waiting for 30 years long. And, most Liverpool fans out there, if you're watching, probably have never even seen them win the title. So this would be an absolutely amazing, amazing moment for you guys. So catching up here on some of the stats. So send me your question or comments there about how Liverpool can improve, because I really want to see. I'm interested to see Liverpool fans. Do you think this is just a momentary thing, or do you think this is, something that you should be concerned about for next season? Personally, I think you can kind of brush it under the carpet a little bit and just say it's down to players maybe not quite living up to the high standards they've set themselves for most of this season. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you think about where they need to improve. Because how do you improve on a team that's so far ahead of everyone else? So Liverpool have the ball in the attacking third here again. So a lot of you saying that they should maybe have players that could replace the front three. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, Chelsea are coming forward here. 20 minutes to go. Of course, the situation is very simple for Chelsea at the moment. They just got to go all out to try and get back in this game. They're 4-2 down with 20 minutes to go. And the situation for them is very simple. They get a draw here. They'll be on 64 points heading into the final round of games. So they have Wolves at home. Man United can get a maximum of 66. Leicester maximum of 65. But of course, they're playing each other. So a point here for Chelsea will do it. They'll get them in the Champions League. So, this is all they need to do. This is all they need to do here. Just kind of keep it going, keep it interesting. And then if they can get one back in the next 10 minutes, they can set up a grandstand finish. But Mane's in. Zuma cleans up at the back. But this has been a wonderfully entertaining game for the neutrals. So I hope you've all enjoyed the watch along here. I've enjoyed your questions. This has been great. Okay, so let me know whereabouts in the world you're watching from. I know we did this earlier, but we've had some people come in and out of the chat room. So whereabouts in the USA or where else in the world you're watching from, wherever you are, cheers to you guys. I know we can't get together and watch a game all together in person at the moment due to the current situation with the pandemic, but this has been a wonderful way, I think, to connect since the restart. Love doing a few of these. What have we done? We've done Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Liverpool now. Try and do a few more of these. So it'll be very, very interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Christian Pulisic just come on. And he scored a wonderful, wonderful goal for Chelsea. It's 4-3. And Jurgen Klopp's expression says it all. His relationship with Pulisic is unbelievable. He was the guy who brought him to Borussia Dortmund in Germany as a youngster from the US. Hudson-Odoi clips in a lovely ball. Pulisic chests it down the penalty spot, flicks it around and fires it into the top corner. And Christian Pulisic is having himself a day. He's only been on the pitch for 10 minutes, 12 minutes now. And he's an assist, scored a goal, and it's now Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3 with 18 minutes to go. And Chelsea, with a point, they get into the Champions League. So this is just, this is wow. I'm going to let you guys chat in the comments section. Maybe revise your marks out of 10 on Pulisic that we did earlier, as he's kind of dragged Chelsea back into this game and shown Chelsea what they're missing. There was a time when showed Liverpool what they're missing, because there was a time when Liverpool were in for Pulisic when he was at Dortmund. Jurgen Klopp, a big fan of his, obviously, as I said, took him to Germany. But yeah, very, very interesting. Wow. I can't quite believe what's happening here. This has been a great end. And Pulisic now is 9 goals in the Premier League. This has just been absolutely sensational. Have yourself a day. This has been brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant fun. I've enjoyed this, guys. And Liverpool, you know, fireworks off the pitch outside Anfield again as they get ready to lift the Premier League trophy at the end of this game. But fireworks on it as well. It's just all-out attack now with 15 minutes to go. "15 minutes to go, everyone. I'm just trying to catch my breath here, having a beer, enjoying this wonderful, beautiful game we all love." Rudiger just cleared it away at the back post. Mo Salah was lurking, trying to flick it in to go 5-3 up. Can't believe I just said that. But hey, I predicted a draw 2-2, so not too bad. I'll take that. Give me your score predictions now. 15 minutes to go. Liverpool 4-3 up. What do you think? And yes, I mean, but Chelsea have gone for it and almost better doing this, right? Rather than sitting back defending. They've gone at Liverpool. They're so dangerous. And this is so wonderful to see from a Chelsea perspective. From attacking perspective, defensively, it's been awful. So Liverpool have the ball, throwing into the box. Some handball shouts there against Mo Salah. Zuma half clears, and it looks like it's going to be a Liverpool corner. This is the Ox is coming on for Liverpool shortly after this corner. Alexander-Arnold's whipping it in. Chelsea half clear. Reece James, and the break is on. That man Pulisic's on the ball, racing towards. No way. No way. No way. Alonso's got the ball. A lot of you are going for 4-4, 5-4. 5-4 to who? 5-3, some of you are saying. 4-4. A lot of you are hoping for a late Chelsea equaliser. That's obviously Chelsea fans out there, but Reece James is going to whip it in. Oh, Alonso nearly got an in the back stick there. This is brilliant. This is so cool to join you all for this watch-along. This is the perfect way for the final watch-along of the season. It is Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3, 13 minutes of normal time to go, plus stoppage time. And Chelsea are just pouring forward. Alonso whips it in. Joe Gomez clears. This is the Premier League at its finest to me. Two heavyweights going head-to-head, attacking football. What more can you ask for? Okay, Oxlade-Chamberlain's coming on, so gives me a chance to grab a beer. Salah's coming off, doesn't look happy. And yeah, he's done everything apart from score, right? He's come close a few times. Doesn't look happy. But we'll have a Premier League winners medal in about 20 minutes' time. So it's going to be okay, Mo. Got to refuel, you know, before this last 15 minutes. PT Grindle says best game ever. Hard to disagree with that. Marius 13 says 5-4 to Chelsea. Joshua Simmons, like this comment. Pulisic is playing soccer while everyone else is playing football. Let's open up the old soccer versus football debate in the comments. Please don't. That's just we won't have enough time to go through all that. But it will be a lot of fun. Always is. And Chelsea are on attack here. Jorginho goes wide. Reece James plays it to Hudson-Odoi. He's clipped it in. Van Dijk half clears. Comes out to Azpilicueta. And he's shanked it wide. May have gone out for a throw-in. Oh no, that's never good to see, but he's a defender. He's a defender for a reason. Who do I think will win, says Usman. I can see 4-4. I said a draw at the start of the game. I said 2-2, so I'm going to go with that. But yeah, I didn't quite think it would be like this in terms of the situation. But my goodness, I can't even... When was half time? That seems like an age ago. There's been so many goals back and forward, but this has been so cool to watch with you guys, and it honestly just in my mind, it kind of just reminds me how great the Premier League is, right? Chelsea are going for it. Reece James down the right, tries to whip it in. Didn't work out, but this is all Chelsea now heading to the final 10 minutes. So Liverpool trying to see through another win here. They obviously haven't lost at Anfield all season long. And this is... Chelsea always seem to be the spoilers for Liverpool. I'm not going to bring up the slip with Gerrard over the years. Liverpool have had Chelsea's number when it comes to the Champions League semi-finals and all that stuff. But, you know, this is very, very interesting in terms of for Liverpool for next season. I'm looking at the body language. I'm looking at which players, you know, Jurgen Klopp might think about getting rid of. As Hudson-Odoi is hacked down on the halfway line by Fabinho. Looks like it might be a yellow card. Maybe not. Quite a strong challenge there. And Chelsea get yet another chance to attack. Oh, Pulisic is lurking as Alisson comes out to claim a cross from the right. As more fireworks go off outside Anfield. Just keep going, don't they? It's absolutely unbelievable. But we are heading into the final 8 minutes of the game, folks. Get your comments coming in. I'm going to ask you for one more question here overall. Who do you think wins the Premier League next season? We've asked this a few times on these watch-along. It kind of changes game by game, but who are the favourites to win the Premier League next season? Is it Liverpool to retain the title? Is it Man City? Some defensive issues there still. Or do you see a Man United or Chelsea kicking on and buying big in the summer? Think about that as we watch the final few moments together as Pulisic is hacked down by Joe Gomez on the left, and he's just been an absolute nightmare since he's come on. Jurgen Klopp must be absolutely regretting the decision to bring Pulisic over to Dortmund as a teenager from the US, because he was pivotal in him coming over to Europe, and I guess just showing that Klopp has a great eye for a player, right? Peter Grindle says Chelsea, Liverpool, City. Those would be the 3 title contenders. And you think Chelsea are going to win the league? They have to have some big defensive improvements. But you think about this attacking display, and they're going to add Werner, Ziyech to that, maybe Kai Havertz. My goodness, wouldn't like to defend against that. Oh, Chelsea are all in. Sadio Mane's playing through. Counter-attack for Liverpool. Robertson he's gone. The flying Scotsman down the left wing whips it in. The Ox is there. 5-3. Pulisic's heroics are for nothing. The Oxes come on, and this is up there. Did someone predict 5-3, by the way? I'm pretty sure if you scroll back at the start of the comments, someone predicted 5-3. Maybe that was at half-time. 5-3. Chelsea had a corner bouncing around, and then Liverpool, as they do, Mane led the counter down the left flank. Robertson, the flying Scotsman, just went flying past. I think it was Jorginho with a half-hearted tackle there. Ox coming at the back post. Alonso was caught out. And just like that, Chelsea's hopes of getting a 4-4 draw have gone. Liverpool 5-3 up. And this is honestly one of the best games I have seen in a long, long time. From an attacking perspective, entertainment-wise, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Wow. Kevin Quado, congratulations. You said 5-3. There we go. In the comments, you've come back. That's awesome. If you do the lottery, I would probably do that tonight if I was you, because that is an unreal score prediction. I don't know. How did you come up with that? I'd love to hear your thoughts behind that in the comments section. But yeah, this is pretty bonkers right now. So Chelsea, I'm not going to ask you again where you think you should strengthen, because it's very obvious from tonight's performance. Same for Liverpool as well, right? Need to strengthen defensively from a defensive point of view. Adam Lallana's waiting to come off the bench, it looks like. He's going to maybe get one final run out at home at Anfield in a Liverpool shirt. He's had a lot of injury problems, but Klopp has spoken about his importance behind the scenes, getting the culture. He's been there throughout Klopp's time at Liverpool. Few players have, but not many really when you think about it. And Lallana looks like he's going to go on a free transfer to Leicester. Burnley have been talked about, Brighton, and a few other teams. So be really interesting. Okay, we're getting to the final 4 minutes of the game here. So some of you still answering the other questions about some Man United fans. They're delighted that Liverpool are doing them a favour. Kepa is getting a lot of stick in the comments section. What do I think about Minamino? Good player. Needs a bit more time, I think, to settle down in the Premier League, but will be a very good player, especially in the cup competitions and Champions League. What are my thoughts on Kepa? No, I can't see him lasting at Chelsea, especially after tonight. I think he's just out of his depth a little bit when it comes to shot stopping. Yes, he can control the ball, play out from the back, but Frank Lampard wants his, defenders to defend, and they're not doing it. They're more interested in attacking and playing the ball. So I can't see Kepa. Who is your man of the match? This is a tough one. I think someone has made a huge impact in the second half. I don't know if that says that he should get man of the match, if it's Pulisic after his wonderful assist and his goal, but who's man of the match? Let me know. Jediah saying that Chelsea will be forced to battle next season, but Liverpool will be on there. It's fair enough. PT Grindle saying Pulisic is the man of the match. I don't know if we're biased here. I'm trying to take my US national team rose-tinted glasses off, but I think he's been brilliant since he came on. Firmino's got a few shouts. Pulisic, MVP, Pulisic. Gabriel's asking, who do I think will get relegated? Gone over that a few times. I think Watford are done. I think Villa are going to win on the final day and stay up, and Watford aren't going to win at Arsenal. People are asking for a more competitive title race next year. That's true, but across the rest of the league, top four, Europa League, and relegation is going down to the wire in the final weeks of the season. So can't ask for much more than that, can we? And yeah, I guess most people think that Pulisic is going to get the Man of the Match award, which is quite something considering he came on with just over 25 minutes to go. Theodore says, who should Chelsea get for the defence? That's a great question. And if I knew the proper answer to that, I would be working in Chelsea's recruitment section probably. I think they need a whole new centre-back pairing. I think Koulibaly, someone like him, would be great. I don't know if that's really on their radar. They seem to be going for a lot younger players in general. But if they could get in a dominant centre-back, and then maybe someone like Rudiger could play alongside him, but he's had his moments this season. But I think they need at least a centre-back, at least a goalkeeper. Can't see Ter Stegen or Henderson going. I could see Jan Oblak going. There's a good relationship between Atletico and Chelsea. Could see that happening. But yeah, they need at least need a new goalkeeper and centre-back this summer, because attacking-wise, we all see how good they are, and Werner, Ziyech, and maybe Havertz coming in. They've got money to spend, Chelsea. One of the few teams that do is Pulisic feeds the ball into Azpilicueta, whips it out wide. James has got to get out the box here. Hudson-Odoi loses possession. Minamino's on the ball. He's got Origi up with him, but that's about it. But Origi does really well to turn, and he's running towards the Kop end in the 91st minute. It's 5 minutes of stoppage time. Origi, look at that man go, brought down right on the edge of the box, and wins a free kick. Fair play. John Stones is a good shout for a centre-back. Manolas is a good shout for a centre-back. They need help. They need help, Chelsea, defensively, because I think there is something to be said that Frank Lampard doesn't want to set up his team from a defensive point of view, but there's also something to be said that they're working on certain things defensively, and it obviously isn't working. So as part of it is Lampard isn't a defensive coach, but part of it is I don't think he has the players there. And we saw with Liverpool to start with under Klopp, they have games like this all the time where they win 4-3 or lose 4-3 or draw 3-3. You don't win anything doing that. You need to be better defensively, like they have been. They added Alisson and Van Dijk, and that made all the other players around them better. So I think Chelsea need to do something similar. Oh, Van Dijk nearly scored at the back post. Kepa again just let a free kick go all the way across the 6-yard box. Van Dijk was there with a tapping at the back post and sort of was half shocked that the ball came to him and just looped it towards goal, but it went over. So again, poor defending from Chelsea. That sums it up, right? Alex Senefa says a right back and left back need to be bought. Rudiger is good enough. I agree with Rudiger is good enough, and you're right. I think Chilwell being bought as a left back would be good. And right back, I think Reece James is okay. I think he'd be okay there. So can't really say it. Okay, so we're nearly done. A couple of minutes to go. I'm going to say cheers to you all for watching the watch along. Not just today, but throughout the last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun to try something different on our YouTube channel here at NBC Sports. I point you towards NBCSN here in the USA, TV station, and NBCSports.com. We will have all of the reaction, the analysis. Lee Dixon's going to be in there with the Liverpool players and the hierarchy there when they lift the trophy at the Kop end. Jordan Henderson's on the TV screens now. He's getting ready to lift the trophy aloft at the Kop end. First time in 30 years Liverpool won the title. First time ever they've won the Premier League title. And Liverpool fans, I know you're going to be looking forward to that and loving that moment when you see your team finally lift the trophy as the champions of England. It's been confirmed for a while now, but seeing Henderson there holding the trophy aloft will be a moment for you to also celebrate. So what a wonderful season it's been. Clicking through the final few minutes here. And again, I'm Joe Prince-Wright, and it's been a pleasure to join you all wherever you've been in the world. One final roll call, one final shout out. If you want to let me know where you're watching from, that'd be cool. Good way to finish this off, I think. A really international vibe to this, all across the USA and, all across the world pretty much. So Craig says, nice one, Joe lad. Cheers, Craig. Thanks for watching. Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio, Liverpool. Massachusetts, Brooklyn, New York, Dallas. Wow, so many of you. Anurag says, thank you, my pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure, and happy for you guys to stay on for a little while and chat in the comments if you want to catch up about this game and what's coming up in the final few weeks of the season, or final week of the season, final few games, should I say. Evision says, I'm the man. I'll take that. Appreciate the love. Jacob is watching from Nashville. Drizzy's in Chicago. Theodore in Connecticut. Steve Paul from Buffalo. Big up to Buffalo. James Gross from Long Beach, California. Mava from West Palm Beach. Rafi in Nevada. Kathmandu in Nepal is in the house. Reno, Yorktown, New York. Bondy in France. New Orleans, Louisiana again. Nicholas, how you doing? PT Grindle, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you along. Got Chandler, Arizona. Kerala, India. Ohio, California. And there we go. Game over. Liverpool top of the Premier League table on 96 points with one game to go. They can now celebrate the Premier League title win. Going to lift that trophy at the Kop end, Jordan Henderson. And Chelsea, they're in 4th place on 63 points. The Man United fans will be happy with Liverpool doing them a favour. Be interesting. We've got London, New York in the house, Washington, D.C., Texas, Zambia. Hello to Linford there. Coachella, California. Mumbai, India. Texas again. What can I say? This has been a pleasure to chat with you guys. I'll let you, any other questions you want to finally put in the comments section. We'll be doing this again, hopefully in the future. It's been a great success. We've done it 3 times now since the restart of the Premier League. And I think it's been a wonderful way to get to know you better, for you guys to chat in the comments. And like I said, even though we can't watch in a pub together right now, we can have a beer, have a catch up, and just chat about the beautiful game with all of you guys. So finish with a few more shout outs. Vernon's in Maine, Barry's in Kentucky, Alejandro Armenta's in San Diego, Robert Bletchy's in St. Louis, Desert Hot Springs, Omar, Williams and Brana's in California, Shadrach in Ohio, VJ in Memphis. And yeah, this is brilliant. It's really been so cool to chat with you guys. So thank you for joining me. Have a beer this evening. Liverpool fans, I'm sure you'll have more than one to celebrate. Chelsea fans, a lot of work to do, but for the American Chelsea fans and Chelsea fans everywhere, I'm sure you love that performance from Christian Pulisic. What a wonderful game that was. So final score, Chelsea scored 3, Liverpool scored 5, 8-goal thriller at Anfield. Last home game of the season. Liverpool gone through the whole season unbeaten at home in the Premier League. Absolutely fantastic. And a final shout out to Adita in Houston, Gabriel in Atlanta, and everyone around the world. Hope you've enjoyed it. For myself, John, for joining us on a small reaction on NBCSports.com. Speak to you all very soon.